In today's video, we're going to be taking a big look at the tropics, the upcoming pattern, but especially we're going to be taking a look at the month-by-month outlook at the very end, where we can take a look at what we expect for September, well, the rest of September, October, November, I don't know why I said October, November, and then even December. So we're going to dive into the entire fall and the beginning of winter in this video. Before we do, be sure to check out Prestige Weather in the description and the pinned comment down below. It's $5 a month, and we offer early access to our monthly and seasonal outlooks. That does include our third winter forecast that is coming out within a week from now, and that'll be up there for 1 to 2 weeks early before we even release it on the YouTube channel. So you can check it out in the description and pinned comment down below. Let's get into things. We do have Tropical Storm Felipe, I think that's how you say it. And this one is not expected to cross that hurricane line, so it's expected to stay at this tropical storm status, although it's already at 50 miles per hour, so it's climbing pretty rapidly. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a hurricane out of this one, but at this point it is expected to stay at that tropical storm status and pretty much head directly westward until it takes a little bit of a northwesterly turn. And then by Friday, it'll be approaching perhaps Bermuda unless it takes a more northern turn afterwards. Or a more western turn, but we're gonna have to wait and see. There's a lot of possibilities with this one, although major intensification is not expected, so this one is expected, for now at least, to stay relatively weak. As we take a look at the entire tropics, we can see that we do have Ophelia there over Virginia, pretty much dissipated, so that's why we didn't take a look at the cone forecast. That one's pretty much all said and done. Felipe, of course. And then we have this area that was a code yellow. It's now upgraded to that code orange. So like I said yesterday, we do expect probably to see this one continue to climb until it eventually develops, just like we usually see with these systems. So it does have a 10% chance of development over the next 2 days. And then over the next 7 days, it's climbed all the way up to a 40% chance of development. So that is increasing over time. Certainly a very, very interesting situation. And oftentimes in this type of situation, if we did see this one develop, it would pretty much follow wherever Felipe goes. So we can expect to see something like that. It doesn't absolutely have to, but that is kind of what my previous experience is telling me would be more likely to happen. And I do see they already have kind of a northwesterly direction with it. So wouldn't be surprised if that's also what the National Hurricane Center is thinking with this one. But we'll just have to wait and see. We have passed the peak of hurricane season now, as we're heading into late September, early October. Tropical systems are obviously still a threat, but we are on the descent now, not the ascent. So very interesting time of year. Can't believe we're already this deep into meteorological fall. I think we crossed into calendar fall as of yesterday. So officially in calendar fall, we've been in meteorological fall for a while, and we're already approaching the midpoint. Now, as we take a look at the upcoming pattern, we can see Ophelia. We can see this kind of more major storm over the central states here. We can see this storm moving into the northwest. We're just going to track what happens with all of these, and by the time I reach this afternoon, we still see some storms as a result of Ophelia there in the mid-Atlantic and the northeast. We do see this low that is pretty much dissipated, but we do have this cold front swinging underneath, and this could bring some pretty bad thunderstorm activity, maybe even some severe weather along it for states like Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, Wisconsin, Iowa. That is all what we're going to be watching. By the time we reach Monday, September 25th, we can see this more major system for the Pacific Northwest moving onshore. It is a 998 over British Columbia, so more of a cold front type situation under here. And then we can still see some storminess lingering with this central state storm, but it is dissipating actually. And then Ophelia, it's the same story. We still see some storms, but really dissipating overall. We do have some tropical thunderstorms, not really any disturbances here, but definitely some more Gulf energy influenced thunderstorms happening over Florida here. Pretty common during the fall or summer to early fall time frame for that area, of course. By the time we reach Tuesday, September 26th, we can see that this northwest activity is still there. We still see, in general, some scattered about showers and storms here over the upper Midwest, Great Lakes, Ohio Valley here into the mid-Atlantic and the southeast. So that is far stretching, and there is some bold spots in there, if you will, but we, in general, are seeing some scattered about showers and thunderstorm activity. Wednesday, it's the same thing here. We have this Pacific Northwest storm still taking place. We also see for, again, the upper Midwest through the Ohio Valley and then down through the southeast, still some thunderstorms and showers around. Let's just keep going. Thursday, it's a lot of the same, although we're seeing a little bit less activity now over the Pacific Northwest, so that is kind of dying down, but we are continuing to see some of this storminess here in the east. Not very progressive, and what I mean by that is it's not moving out quickly. It's kind of just sticking around pretty stagnant here, so a showery week ahead is what I would describe it as. For Friday here on the 29th, what we see is again the Northwest through into the Northern Rockies and Northern Plains, and then for a lot of the eastern states, we are seeing a lot of storms in the form of showers and thunderstorms there. Saturday, a lot of the same here. Again, we have a couple of low pressure systems causing some pretty far stretching areas of showers for the Northwest into the North Central states. For Sunday the 1st, we see this gets a little bit more intense, although there is no organized low. We do see just this kind of jet stream fueled area of showers and storms around. Also some snowfall for states like Utah, Colorado, and Wyoming there. Definitely playing a factor there as well on October 1st. By Monday, October 2nd, we get a little bit quieter here. Nothing even really worth noting there. And then for the 3rd, it's kind of the same story, although we do have this kind of stretching pocket of maybe some very isolated showery and thunderstorm activity across the states, but really nothing too noteworthy, so getting a little bit quieter there towards the end of the model run. As a result of all this, no surprise really that we don't have that much above average precipitation. The Northwest will be one of those areas, as well as the upper Midwest into the Ohio Valley, and then kind of like this pretty specific Southeast area. But outside of these areas, it's pretty average. I mean, we do get a lot of precipitation here from Ophelia, but a lot of this, because this is our morning model run, or overnight model run, a lot of this has already happened by the time you're watching this video. But obviously, Ophelia brought tons of precipitation throughout the Southeast and the Mid-Atlantic, well, some of the New England states. But most of that is said and done, and the East is going to be a little bit quieter after that is over. Let's just move on. Let's take a look here at the temperature pattern. Again, we're in a pretty interesting phase. We have this clearly negative PNA that stands for Pacific North American Oscillation, and this usually causes warmth throughout the central and the eastern states, but we can see that there is actually cooler temperatures set up over the east. This is due to not only a backdoor cold front that's bringing deeper fall temperatures, but also some tropical activity with Ophelia tends to bring cooler temperatures, and I think that that also plays a pretty large role here in what's taking place. We do see a warming trend after that is all said and done by the weekend. And then we're getting a little bit more into a classic negative PNA. Although, again, we get some warming temperatures trending in here along the west coast. Overall, this cold air mass is going to overrule the pattern, and we see warmth prevailing for the central and now the eastern states as well by the time we're reaching early October. And that pretty much stays that way. And if you remember yesterday's video, we saw warmth from coast to coast, and I mentioned that we would probably see cold start to trend in for either the west or the east. And look at this. By October 9th here now on this model, we do have cold trending in for the west. Perhaps a sign of more warmth to come for the central and eastern states. There is still time for this to change, but this is a little bit more of a clear-cut pattern that really is a realistic one. And I would say that this is more likely than not, now that we're seeing the European ensemble model really grasp onto this. We might be taking a look at a negative PNA pattern for a little bit more of an extended period of time than we originally anticipated. Let's take a look at that month-by-month outlook. We're going to ignore September because it doesn't really matter at this point. It is almost said and done. We do see a positive PNA here according to the long-range outlook. So perhaps after that first week, we see more of a positive PNA pattern trend in. And then we see more neutral to below normal temperatures here for the central and eastern states. That is the outlook for October here. As we move into November, we can see that there's likely warmth in the southwest and also the southeast, so a little bit of southeast ridge as well. So we, as a result of that, see more cold pouring into the north central and the Ohio Valley states, with, again, warmth more along these areas here with cold to the north. And, I get a lot of comments where they'll be like, of course it's colder in the north and warmer in the south, but this is compared to normal. So we're actually seeing a more dramatic contrast between the north and the south when we see a pattern like this. So the north gets colder, and it's already the colder half, but it's getting even colder, and the south is the warmer half, and it's getting even warmer. So a more dramatic difference between those two areas. I hope that makes sense. Here's December, and look, this is very interesting. Positive PNA as a whole trending in here, a very strong and healthy looking positive PNA. with especially warm temperatures over the western states, and that's going to be the more influential area. And then we see cold pouring in through the central and the eastern states. This could set up for a cold and snowy December. Certainly, if we see something like this set up, maybe causing some excitement. It is early on, but some possibilities for White Christmas for areas that it isn't that typical, which would be exciting. I know it's been many years for a lot of folks, and I know me, I've only experienced one White Christmas ever, so I'm a dreamer. I hope that does happen. That would be absolutely crazy. And this does give in to that possibility, although again, it is very far out and we could see this change, but this is good early on signs of things like that being a possibility, and a colder, snowier winter perhaps. Anyway, be sure to subscribe. We do upload every single day weather videos just like this one. Be sure to also hit the bell icon for daily notifications when we upload so you never miss one. Also, like the video if you did enjoy it, leave a comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next video.